and welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy this video. Well, hello everybody, and do you know, I'm just gonna give my first reaction to this incredible Spanish Stonehenge. And yes, I am using the pen, and the reason is I sit for hours in front of the screen, and I just can't use that editing software. I just feel like a dork if I try and use it. I just don't want to do it. It's terribly painstakingly hard. So, do you know what? We're going to talk about this Spanish Stonehenge. This is the thing that most looks like Stonehenge in the whole world. It more closely resembles Stonehenge than any other structure I've ever seen. We're going to analyze it in this video. I'm just so happy. And this is in a reservoir in central Spain. It has popped out, and I am saying it is built by the same people as built all the stone circles in England, built by the same people as built Stonehenge. And it's actually a kind of prototype to Stonehenge because it's earlier than Stonehenge. So you can see where the Stonehenge people were going when they actually made this, which is, you know, I find that frankly just absolutely incredible. Just absolutely incredible. So we're going to really look into this and really get down to it. Now, you might notice, just looking at this picture here, that there's a lot of stuff, just a lot of stuff going on, which just boggles the imagination. I'm just trying to remember how to make it bigger. Let's just view image like that, and there we go. And I just need to do that. Oh, there we go. It's getting bigger now. So this is just unbelievable, and you'll notice that there's a lot going on here. There's allegedly 1,140 stones here, and I'm sure they're not counting these ones, but they should be counted because they're part of it. So they're just filming the inside, but there's a lot more. As we shall see, there's way more. There's way more going on here. You'll notice here, this is like the stones at in Scotland, and also in the Outer Hebrides, the Orkneys, at Callanish. It's designed to have a triangular top. It's designed to look like a fang. And I'm putting it to you, this is definitely the snake cult yet again. So what we have here, we will have two snake jaws interacting. And we won't really be able to see what's going on until we see an overhead picture, which I will show you very presently. But for starters, you will note that just like the real Stonehenge, where we have, say, smaller stones, the blue stones, and then we have the bigger stones, it's the same thing here. So we have the smaller stones, and they look like little fangs. They're all little teeth of the snake. They're all elongated, they're all pointy, they're all sharpened. Do you notice this one here looks like a flint blade? That's right, guys, it looks like a flint blade. This one over here, it's another flint blade. Actually, wow, these two are unique. There's one on each side. This could be the male and female, the egg of each one interacting, or one of them's the something and one of them's the egg, right? But interestingly, we have a tomb or some congealed structure over here, which might be the center of the circle, because there's a lot more demolished stones over here, indicating that, well, basically the stone circle is kind of demolished in a way. But let's look at some more pictures. Now, I just saw these on Google Images. People have been visiting the site in recent days, and from what I can see here you have a very smooth stone. Here you've got a flat stone. This could be, damn, I hope they haven't toppled one of those egg-shaped stones. But you have egg and fang. So you have eggs here, the early Easter eggs from, say, 5000 BC or whatever, and the fangs. Just looking at some of these photos, there's something going on there. This is unbelievable. Even the way the stones have been cut with little indentations on the bottom totally reminds me of what is going on at Stonehenge. You see that as well in other photos, like here, for example. You see that there. I've seen plenty of that kind of stuff going on at Stonehenge itself. Just indentations at the bottom, just weird cuts and stuff. They're the same builders. You know, I just frankly can't believe this and how good this discovery is. Now, what we're going to do next, we're actually going to look at an overhead view, because I'm just so excited about this. So, and you will see what I mean about all this scree around here. Just unbelievable. That is what the structure looks like. So you see, it's actually no Stonehenge. It's actually a huge tomb. But it's been uncovered, or it's always been uncovered. So it's a symbolic tomb, symbolic rebirth. And of course, they couldn't use astronomy if this was all hidden. They would have to wait for the sunlight to enter, like in Newgrange. It's a prototype of Newgrange, a bit older than Newgrange, but it's also a prototype of Stonehenge. And it shows us they do indeed have a common ancestor going on, which is just absolutely fascinating. And so this reminds me of what's happening in Ireland. Do you see these blocks here, the way they're laid out horizontally? That is so much like Newgrange. They're laid out horizontally around Newgrange, which is 3000 BC. They reckon this is possibly 4000 BC. These are the ancestors before they went up north. You know, I'm just so fascinated about this. Now, Stonehenge itself has been compared to an outdoor tomb. And one of my friends suggested, well, Newgrange was the prototype where they essentially could only show a few people standing inside the tomb, the sun entering. But here, they can show multitudes of crowds standing around, the sun entering. So they actually stripped away the tomb as the population expanded. Just fascinating. And here again, you have the same sort of flat stones and then rounded stones. That's what we're seeing at Stonehenge. I noticed like some stones are, like say in the trilithons, are perfectly square, and other stones are rounded. So we have the sharp stones, and then we have the round stones, which is interesting. Very interesting. You know, I am so fascinated by this. So it looks like this was deliberately left uncovered, and so many ancient sites, they're kind of like this. They're kind of, you don't know who stripped them away, but they've always been stripped away. It's just so fascinating. And of course, Göbekli Tepe, it looks so much like Göbekli Tepe as well. Just the way these stones are all pointing in the same direction. But now let's looking at that overhead view, we can actually see a striking similarity to Stonehenge straight away, because we see a henge, basically. Look, the henge. And I've said in a previous video, this is a kind of eclipse. It's an eclipse with a diamond ring effect. That's what's being achieved. So it's the recreation of the world, the snakes interacting in outer space, Rahu and the other god, the Indian gods. All this is preserved in Indian folklore. One of my fans pointed out very cleverly. If you want to know what's going in Europe, look at the current knowledge in Asia, the current surviving traditions. That tells you exactly how to interpret ancient European sites. So, you know, I'm just fascinated by this. I am just so fascinated. And do you see this here? Do you see that there? Oh, that is so much like our dear old friend. Our dear old friend. I'm about to bring it up. I'm about to bring it up in Stonehenge. Here it is. Look, the trilithon. The trilithons. There they are. You see? So what we have is two snakes interacting. So what I said in a previous video, that's the male snake, that's the female snake. In ancient times, it was thought that snakes reproduce by doing that with their mouths. They sort of do it orally like that. And so in that overhead picture, what's going on, I believe, is something like this. So do you see the inner circle? It's the male. And the outer circle is all these small stones here. They were all the small stones. They're all the teeth of a larger snake, which is kind of encircling the smaller one. So I think that's what's happening. There you have some kind of entrance to the water. You'll notice the shadows. Now it's currently now either that's morning or it's evening, and it's currently reaching the end of summer in Europe, but it's still summer. So it just gives an indication that entrance there is astronomically aligned. And essentially this is the snakes interacting. And they're activated, the shadows moving across, the beams moving across. It's a cosmic event of resurrection, yearly renewal, activated by the sun every year coming down this shaft. That, my friends, is the Dr. Charles interpretation of what the hell is going on here. This is just absolutely unbelievable. Now, do you know what? I've written a couple books. One of them is probably one of the best ancient astronauts books ever written. It's called Confessions of the Gods. Check it out, Kindle or paperback on Amazon. And also a Pyramids book. The Pyramids book is basically, well, it's 137 photos of sites you can visit in Europe, which are prototypes of pyramids, the way this is a prototype of Stonehenge. That's an amazing book. It's much deeper reading than the other book, Confessions, but check them out on Kindle and paperback. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. And also hit me up on Patreon. Cheers. Bye-bye.